Okay, let's talk about the CFMOTO Papio 125. Okay, this is the CFMOTO Papio 125. I think this is a 2022 edition. I just got this like a week ago. This is not the first time I've ridden it, and so far it's been a blast. I mean, I've had bikes for like close to 10 years now, and this has been like one of the better bikes I've ever ridden, which is hilarious because it tops out at like 65 or something, at least for me. Let's talk about the looks. I think visually it's a decent looking bike. Shrunken naked bike, that's pretty much what it looks like. I mean, profile, handlebars, everything just kind of fits that bill. It looks good though. When I saw it, actually I test rode the new CFMOTO Papio SS, which is kind of like a little cafe racer thing. And I didn't love it. It felt kind of cheap and shitty. I don't know, it just like it had no power. And I mean, like, spec wise I think it's actually the same as this. I don't know if it was just the way it was set up when I test rode it or whatever, but it didn't feel good. It's also got like pseudo clip-on sort of feel. The bars are kind of angled in, but I like this more. I think this feels more comfy. I think it feels more kind of like a Grom, or actually more like a Z125, I would say. This is very Z125-esque. So looks wise, I think it's sufficient. It sits higher than I would think it would. When I first sat on it, I was like, oh hey, it actually is, you know, taller than what I'd imagined it to be. I can flat foot it, and I'm 5'7", so comfortably. It's super light. Here, we'll get up here, I'll show you. Oh, look, there's some dudes over here at the MSF course practicing. A dude showing his buddy or something. Alright, here we go. Put it in neutral. So look, I'm flat footing it. Super comfy. Like, I can maneuver it with my legs. That's how light it is. It's awesome. Yeah, let's talk about what features. Features. What few features a bike like this would have. It's got, alright, so you got hazards, which is kind of funny because even my big bikes don't have hazards. You got a horn, yeah, all your typical stuff. And then you got mileage. You can also do, let's see here, I don't know what that means. So if you know, good for you, but I know mileage. The odometer. You got a fuel gauge, which is sick. This right here is your gear indicator. So right now it says 0, now we're in 1. Back to 0. Sometimes it doesn't show the 0, but it's in neutral if there's nothing there. You got your time, it's your RPMs. It's digital. I guess that's just the way things are going nowadays. I don't love the digital. TAC, I'd prefer the old analog. I think the Papio SS might actually have a analog TAC. This right here will show turn signals. Pretty cool. There you go, turn signal right there. Boom. And then I think it's integrated in the back as well. It's got nice bright LED headlights, which is pretty sweet. These mirrors are almost useless. If they were like this, if they were like sideways, they'd be great, but they are like at a 45-degree angle from what I want them to be, and it just sucks. It's so bad. I don't know. It's not great. But I suppose that's a nitpick. Obviously no rider modes, quick shifters, anything like that. I think it has close to 10 horsepower, which is nothing, but it's so weird because you can't go fast on this bike, really, but it feels like you're going fast because you're freaking cranking the shit out of that throttle. That was a bad example. because we're in like the lowest gear. Let's get into second. See? There's a little bit of something down there, which is kind of cool. I think it's 125 or 6 cc's. They may have put 126, which would be funny. I think they were doing it just to one up the top Japanese manufacturers, which it's negligible. It doesn't do anything. This is a 6-speed transmission, which is kind of fun. It gives you a little bit of overdrive. Woo! See, it's just a blast. It's such a blast. Look how much I have to crank that throttle. Look at that. That's wild. Woo! Now that I'm done almost breaking myself. I shouldn't be riding this bike like this because it's still in the break-in period, but I'm doing it anyway. Oh yeah, let's talk about brakes real fast. Whenever I see reviews of like bikes online or on YouTube, they're always like, these are 320 millimeter disc brakes or whatever, and I'm like, I don't speak that language. I don't know what that does in terms of stopping. So this bike has really small brakes. You can squeeze this thing like as hard as you want and it'll still struggle to stop, kinda. So we can do a little test actually. I can show you. But cool thing about this 2022 that I didn't like about the Papio SS is that this one doesn't have ABS, so you can actually slide that rear wheel, and that's super fun. You get up to speed here, a little bit of speed. I mean, look, it was both front and rear brake, and it was still taking its time stopping. It's one thing to be cautious of, but it's a small bike. I'm a small dude, you know, it is what it is. As long as you're not pinning it and about to come to a red light or whatever, you should be fine. Let's talk about my opinions on the bike. So, like I said, I rode that Papio SS, hated it. And then I actually had no interest after riding the SS and the Papio. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of, you know, they have a couple different versions. They have the SS, the Cafe Racer. They have this one, which is like the OG Papio 125. And then they have like a Papio mini dirt bike thing, or like enduro or dual sport. I don't know. It's kind of, it's new. I haven't ridden that. It looks like this. It's just got different tires, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this was the OG Papio. And I hadn't ridden this, and I had no desire to, but then I saw it on Facebook Marketplace for like super cheap. And I was like, okay, someone was asking $2,500, and I was like, will you take $2K? And they were like, yeah, can you come get it? And I was like, sure. And it was actually an auction house, and some lady had donated this bike to them. It had 2 miles, literally 2 miles. They were super cool and let me ride the bike, and I thought it was super fun. I was like, hey, this is way better than the SS. And I was like, yeah, I'll get it. So out the door, I think licensing and fees and all that, it was $23.63 or something like that. So really cheap for any sort of bike, even a mini bike, because if you go to a dealership and get the Papio 125, I think out the door it's like $4,500 with everything, especially if you're financing it. It's pretty ridiculous. I personally don't think that any of the mini bikes are worth $4,500 or more. That's my opinion. I think if you were to get a bike like this, it would be way better secondhand, as long as it's not like a stretched Grom. Don't get a stretched Grom. That's horrible. Or if you got in a situation like me, which is pretty rare, it just happened to be right for me. But I'm glad it worked out, because I do love this bike. I think it's super sick. I've never really done wheelies, and I've kind of been feeling better about it, because this bike is way less scary. My other bike is a CBR 600, and I'm not going to try to wheelie that thing, at least not yet, because I'm terrified of breaking something, and then, you know, it's just expensive, it's dangerous. I'll keep both wheels on the ground. But on this, you know, I feel a little more ballsy. I feel like it's such a low investment. and I'm probably not going to hurt myself too bad. So yeah, it's super fun. If you want to check out like the first ride, no commentary, you can see what it's like to whip this thing around. But I think this thing is a blast. You can just go anywhere. Like there's a trail. I'm in 5th gear, bogging down. There's a trail right over there, and I mean, you can take this thing on the sidewalk. I'm not saying you should, that's illegal, but you could. You can take it on like golf cart roads. It's hilarious. It's just good fun. The gas mileage is amazing. It cost me $6 to fill this thing up, and it's lasted me at least 5 hours now of just ripping around. I'm still at 3/4 of a tank, or 3/5 of a tank, sorry. You can make anything your racetrack. I saw another video where some guy was saying that, and it's true. You can literally make anything your racetrack. You can just set up some cones. I'm at the MSF course, like parking lot right now, and I could make this a racetrack if I wanted to. I don't really have much else to say about it, I guess, other than I'm happy with it. I think these mini bikes are a great idea. I wouldn't say it's a good first bike. I would not get this as a first bike. It'll teach you some bad habits. It's not going to teach you good clutch control. It's not going to teach you good throttle control, because you really got to crank the crap out of this thing. It's not going to teach you good braking. It's a good like 2nd or 3rd bike, so you can abuse it or have fun with it. This is my low risk bike. If I want to ride around town and absolutely pin the throttle and have no consequence, that's what this is for. So I wanted to make a video like this because when I was looking at this bike, there wasn't a lot of information on this. There's some pretty decent information on the 2024 models, and there's a couple videos on this bike, but I don't know, I just wanted to make my own little thing and put my own opinion out there. I think that like the main appeal to these things is that they're so low risk. You don't have the fear of damaging a nice bike. I don't know, it just feels good. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of this semi-cloudy day. Maybe try to grow some nuts and commit to some wheelies, we'll see. I'm a huge pansy. I'm gonna try to make more videos like this, probably where I'm talking or exploring or doing something goofy. I'm not trying to be one of the like obnoxious guys that's screaming into the microphone. It's not really my style, but I do want to make content, so I think I might. And I like motorcycles. So if you're watching this and there's something you want to see, let me know. I'll be happy to make it. Got a pretty good schedule for it too. It's so fun. Yeah, and if you're asking why I'm in a suit, I just think it's funny. I don't know. And it's good protection. I don't want to lose any skin, so why not? I'm gonna dip out. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And if you got any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, bye.